Hey folks, so recently, over the past 60 days, I have picked up Isha's Upa Yoga practices, and I'm seeing a pattern here. Like most of the things that Sadhguru makes, it's good stuff. Now, unlike book yoga, and I've heard book yoga is pretty bad, and I've had my own experience with this, Upa Yoga gives you psychological and physical benefits while it not touching the spiritual dimension, so it's okay to practice without so much guidance or an actual like teacher in front of you. So for all of the separate practices, there are 7, I believe. I hope I'm not butchering that number. I'll just go over my experiences and review for all of those. Now, yoga for health, I've noticed, is kind of weird because I stretch a lot, or I used to stretch a lot, and every time I'd stretch, there would always be a nook and cranny like somewhere. But after I started yoga for health and yoga for success, even if I would do a stretch, like no matter how bizarre, throughout the entire day, I would notice that I would feel light and there wouldn't be any cracking. Like when you crack your knuckles, there would be no cracking at all. And I would feel a lot more agile and light during the day. For yoga for success, the neck movements, I noticed, and this was really helpful, that it made doing Isha Kriya very, very easy. Isha Kriya is another practice where you need to sit down and you need to like rotate your neck backwards like this. That was really painful for me, or at least uncomfortable when I first tried it. But after the neck movements, it's pretty comfortable. Like there's no tension there, and I can do it without having to think about that weird sensation in the back. And not only Isha Kriya, there's another practice called yoga for inner exploration. That one, you also have to tilt your head back, and I would also feel it there. So yoga for success made me also feel light whenever I'd rotate like my head. I would never be able to do this, like all of this. I could never do that before. But now those 2 practices are a lot easier to do because of the neck movements. The third practice, yoga for well-being, that's something that I couldn't do at all in the beginning. Like, I tried to do it. Like, you need to make your feet parallel to do it, and you need to squat, and you need to do certain movements, like put your hands like this and put it behind you and not move your head. I didn't have any flexibility for that until the 60-ish days passed, and I was able to finally do those movements semi-comfortably. There's still tension, but I can still like do it now. And this one in particular, I have noticed, and I think there's some sort of pattern in these practices. I don't know if it's on purpose or not, but the yoga for health and yoga for success helped me do this third one, and this third one makes Isha Kriya easier. It makes Isha Kriya easier because the breath is smoother. It's not as damp. It's like smoother but more prominent. And it makes yoga for inner exploration also easier, and it makes yoga for peace more smoother. Yoga for peace is another one where you need to breathe consciously, smoothly, and there's some sort of pattern. And yoga for peace makes Isha Kriya easier. So they're kind of convoluted, but I've noticed that one thing makes another thing easier and vice versa, or another thing helps another thing. So I don't know if that's on purpose, but I've definitely noticed that. Like I said before, yoga for peace, it was pretty straightforward. It helped me breathe a lot smoother during the day, and like sometimes I would have like I wouldn't pay attention to my breathing, and it would suddenly like become heavy or really shallow, and that really helped with that. But it also helps with doing Isha Kriya. It just made it super duper smooth. The one after that, Yoga for Joy, where you do the 3 sounds, I have noticed that I feel a lot more still, and I feel a sense of like internal joy after it. Very extremely subtle, but I have noticed those 2 things, and that's just about it. For Yoga for Inner Exploration, that one, it feels pretty similar to doing Isha Kriya, and that's it. I haven't noticed anything significant. I think if I only practiced Yoga for Inner Exploration, I would have definitely been able to like isolate, okay, this was the benefit, but I haven't seen anything other than the practice is very similar to doing Isha Kriya, and that's just about it. Now, the last one, I believe, I'm probably getting this count wrong. The last one was Yoga for Love. This one is also kind of weird because when I tried this practice, when I was first trying it, it feels very good, and I'm pretty sure it's supposed to feel good. But whenever I do the practice, during it or immediately after doing it, I'm suddenly extremely creative, where like ideas come super smoothly for me, and I don't know why. It's like I know how to solve a problem easier, or I know how to just get something done with my mind a lot easier for some reason. I'm not sure what that is, but after like consistently every time I do Yoga for Love, always or almost every time, it's so much easier to think clearly, to get good ideas, and to just be creative. And I forgot to mention, um, it makes it so much easier to sit in one place and not feel restless. This is also something I don't know how to explain, but when I do, it's called the Namaskar process, Yoga for Love. They're synonymous. For some reason, it's always easier to just sit in one place and just not feel restless for like extended periods of time. Don't know why, but this is the case, and I really like it. So overall, I feel a lot more light and agile and peaceful in my own body. And there is, especially when I do Yoga for Love, there is a distinct sense of internal bliss that is very comforting. And that's just about it. I hope this gave you clarity on what you might experience when you do these things. Everything's different for everyone. And that's just about it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.